Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody in Europe, and good morning, I guess, on for the folks joining from the US or from the Americas. Welcome to the joint webinar today with Johan from StartDeliver, myself from Luzmo. We'll keep it a high engaged short webinar around what we call the adoption game, proven tactics for a stickier SaaS product. And Johan and I, we actually met at SaaSiest, a SaaS conference mid-April in Malmo, Sweden. Yourself from Stockholm, Johan. But I'll let you introduce yourself. And from that conference, we actually came to the idea. Let's do a webinar. Let's do something together because we have a lot of attention towards adoption and also churn. So that's
Exactly.
what came out of it. So up to you,
Yeah,
Johan, if you want to introduce yourself.
yeah, I'm super happy to be here. Yeah, we had a good night there in Malmö.
That's true.
I'm Johan Nilsson, so I'm founder and CEO of StartDeliver. StartDeliver, we make a customer success platform. We also have an academy, so we also train customer success managers and leaders in customer success within Impact Academy. So yeah, super happy to be in this webinar, and I think we both are very passionate about SaaS in general, and adoption is a key part of making a successful SaaS product, and I think that brought us together.
100%. And indeed, brief on myself, I'm Thomas, one of the founders of Luzmo. Formerly, we were called 𝗪𝗵𝘁, for those who still might remember that name. Based in Belgium, we have a team, actually work well, but we have a headquarters in Belgium, also a team in the US. And what we offer is a building block, what we call a building block for SaaS companies to easily install end user facing reports and dashboards, fully white labeled for the end users of your SaaS or software products. So, and today we really gonna focus on basically two challenges that both of us have seen with our users, with our customers. The first one is high churn or higher churn than previously, and that we've seen that if you have a stickier product, if you have a higher adoption rate, and that you will naturally see that lower churn. And we really want to be concrete with concrete examples that Johan have seen, that I have seen, that could also help you in your day-to-day tackling that churn. Johan?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think we talked to a lot of SaaS leaders, SaaS companies out there, and we notice across the board, I think, an increase in churn in general. And I think this is top of mind, I would say, in most companies right now. How can we improve our retention rate? And we're going to talk about that today, of course, and share some of our best practices and some concrete things you can do. So definitely, that's a big topic out there. I would also say the number 2 point here is there are changing customer needs. And I think we also need to remind ourselves that SaaS is a long-term game, right? You have customers for a very long period of time, unless you have a lot of churn, of course. And customers' needs change and they evolve and they want to do more and they grow, and we need to make sure our product follows them through there. And that's also something we see a lot of times out there, that maybe what was okay to buy the product in the first place is not longer enough year 2, year 3, or year 8, or whatever it is for this customer. So we need to pay attention to that, and we need to also manage that in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree. And maybe on a practical note, everybody, if you see the chat, if you have any question along the way for Johan and or myself, just type it in there. We're more than happy to answer these at the end of the couple of slides and examples we have. We promise to keep it short, to keep it crisp in 50 minutes.
But we love to hear from you, of course. So
for sure.
Feel free to ask a lot of questions. But we talked before, Thomas, we talked about, and you shared some really good examples on how you have helped SaaS companies improve adoption. And I think, it would be great to hear more about that. And you come more from the product side of things, also, of course, touching in customer success intersection there. But yeah, would love to hear more there on that.
Yeah, yeah. If, actually, 4 concrete examples. 2 more on the product sides that I have seen and we have seen with our customers, and then 2 more on the customer success side that also naturally flows more towards what you're specialized in. So,
Yeah.
in terms of product-led, really to drive adoption and increase adoption from a, let's say, a hands-off perspective and really driven by your product, is the first one you see here on the left is with one of our customers. They, for example, on the dashboard side, do have some dashboards that are available for all their customers, for a big part of their customers in their platform. And what I found smart and what I also see working very well is that depending on the interaction rates with those dashboards or the render rates of those dashboards and in the tab in their platform, how many times you visited, that they basically, yeah, programmatically work with pop-ups. I call them
Mm.
value-based pop-ups,
Oh, great.
where they do have a number of features that are, let's say, not included in the plan that the user is actually using right now. But
Mm.
if they interact regularly with
Mm.
dashboards, that they adopt the pop-up here below. Hey, if you'd love to see more, if you'd love to have more of what you're currently doing, have a look here. If they would actually interact with a feature that is, for example, on something different, more like a chatbot, for example, or another type of engagement feature, the
Yeah.
pop-up may vary. I found that a very smart one to hands-off give that opportunity for the users to discover new features in the platform.
Cool. Yeah.
Another one I found smart is also in our space in the end user facing dashboards is to actually give them the possibility to engage and get some insights. Let's say here in the top end, but actually shield it really
Mm.
to have an in-app notification. If you like to see more, if you want to see what we currently have,
Yeah.
um, let us know, either upgrades or
Mm.
chat or drop us a note. We're more
Yeah.
than happy to reveal it and start a conversation with you guys. That's more like
That's
an
cool.
in-app notification indeed.
So basically, maybe like from back to what we talked about earlier, like if maybe when they started using the platform, they had enough reports, the off-the-shelf reports were enough. But then when they started using that heavily, they realized they might want to have more and want to have deeper drill down and more analytics and so on.
Yeah,
So basically, here we see a scenario where you, as you adopt the first couple of features, you then you want more, you can, that's an add-on basically, and you visualize this product led in the app basically.
yeah, totally true. So indeed, that's product led in the product on the left hand side, depending on the actual interaction rates. On the
Nice.
right hand side, it's like naturally baked in.
Yeah.
If you want to see more, contact us or upgrade as well. And both of them have seen great results for our end users, for our
Yeah.
customers better. So those ones I would recommend for my own experience, what I've seen
Yeah.
with our users so far. Moving on, maybe to more the customer success side, if that's
Yeah.
fine, is two, let's say, more hands-on or interaction-led or human-led ways of
Mm.
working with our customers is what we call an implementation maturity or maturity model or maturity level model that we have been trying with our customers. And on our product side is that you can have different levels of engagements or different level of degrees of freedom when it comes to offering dashboards in your products to your users. And what we've done more on the proactive side is to see and present a way through different examples that we have seen with our users on how you could have different types of dashboards and different types of interactivity,
Mm.
going from standard dashboards for everybody, tailored dashboard for specific customers, and those are typically built to our customer success or their customer success, and then also different types of degrees of flexibility or modification. For example, they can change dashboards, they can eventually clone dashboards, and eventually also edit them themselves. And building new ones as well is something that we've laid out, and depending on the engagement, they can step by step also drive to those different levels of engagement.
Cool. And are they presented with this when they start as well? So if they start with the generic or the specific, they know they can evolve through these steps?
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's say before working with us, we obviously are eager to understand on what they're looking for, depending on the way they are within the sales process. And obviously, depending on where they are, we can present on what we could offer. We typically also give them a perspective with what we have seen with, and we have currently around 240, 250 mainly SaaS companies, but also software companies. So we aim to give them examples as well to project towards what they might not have thought about at the moment they speak with us or eventually start with us when customer success comes in.
Cool.
Yeah. One more example, maybe, Johan, we
Yeah.
discussed it also prior here, is
Yes.
one that I found interesting more recently, is that, and you will dive into it as well, I guess,
Yeah.
is we work with our customers, and our customers have their end users, like
Yeah.
everybody here, I guess, have your end users,
Mm.
is to, and obviously they speak and work with us for a reason, but to dare to healthily challenge your customers on why they are working with you, and dare to challenge on the reasons why they believe their users would love to have dashboards or work with your technology.
Yeah.
And what I want to visualize here on the right hand side is that we have been part of conversations, suggesting conversations of our customer with the end users, where actually we found out other ways on where
Yeah.
we could work together, because their user base can also be very different, can be very technology adapt users, very
Yeah.
longer tails, basic users. And from those conversations, we found use cases that our customers hadn't thought about, speeding up those new use cases and eventually also increasing adoption.
Yeah. No, but for sure, I think as you grow your SaaS business, as you acquire more customers, maybe go into new verticals, you expand your addressable markets and so on, you will end up with more end users and in new categories, and
Exactly.
they will help you develop your product further if you want to, and then you need to be very clear on your ideal customers. You don't go too broad and become irrelevant, but if you have, I think this is huge, and there's a lot to pick up on by getting feedback and understanding the end users and what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah,
So I think that's super
fully agree.
relevant.
Maybe you want to add on as well from your perspective, because obviously
Yeah.
you founded a CS platform specifically
Yes.
for SaaS users, so eager to understand
No.
more here.
Yes. No, but I think adoption, to start off with, adoption is such a key thing if you think of it in the right way, and I'll explain that shortly. But I also like to talk about, like, sometimes some of our customers or some companies we talk to, they basically say that they don't have a big problem with churn, and then I usually ask, okay, how is adoption? And they usually are, they kind of twist their head a little bit and don't really know that. So if you have low churn but you have poor adoption, I like to call that you have that's usually churn in disguise, because if you don't have a fully if your customers are not fully adopting your platform, you're in a risk of being beaten by competition. So adoption is key. And also, back to what we said in the beginning here, we are in it for the long term with the customers. They evolve, we evolve, and we need to make sure that we continuously help them adopt more and do more with us. And yet, very common situation when we talk to customer success teams out there, they are still working very reactively. So they are basically working through their inbox. Whatever gets sent to them is what they are more a glorified support in some cases. And this is, of course, something we want to change. And I think this is really key if you want to improve adoption, is that you need to really free up your customer success team to be proactive and to drive the right type of actions. And to do that, you need to have a clear context on how the things are. Customer health is about context, understanding where is this customer, of course, from a contract point of view in ARR or MRR, but also more importantly, how is usage? Are they adopting the features they have? Are they on the right track there? What is the experience of being a customer of ours? Are they having progress? Basically, are they all customers have a goal, right? They want to do something with your platform. They want to grow. They want to save costs. They want to improve efficiency. Whatever they want to do, they need to make sure. We need to make sure as a SaaS vendor that they are on the right track there and they are having progress and hitting their goals, basically. I'll talk more about that shortly. But I think I just wanted to share, this is a screenshot from Startdeliver. And you can, of course, do this in other tools, or you can do this in a spreadsheet, but you need to have visibility on how things are going with the customer. Otherwise, you will not be able to basically improve adoption. And by that also, usually you will see better expansion and less churn. But I just wanted to touch on goals as well before we hand over to the question side of things, because this is something very, very often overlooked, that we kind of forget about why the customer became a customer in the first place. And also, again, things evolve, things change. So we need to remember to keep on track on the goals of our customers. And that's something you need to, if you do that, you can do that in a automated way. You can do that in a product-led type of way. You can also do that, of course, in a more one person-to-person type of way. But we need to be clear on what the customer is trying to achieve with our product, and that should basically dictate how we measure adoption of the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So these are two things I wanted to throw in from a customer success point of view, where I see the biggest opportunities usually to improve when it comes from a customer success side, and how we can basically help our customers adopt and grow with us.
That's cool. I really like the goal discovery, and that might be set wrong or that can evolve over time. Huh? That's also something,
Exactly.
independently
And
from what you mentioned, that
yes,
also I've seen in our teams and also lively, I've been in person, have developed with a number of our customers. So it's a continuous exercise to
yes.
course correct or course adapt these.
Yes, and I think this is a game changer, because if you understand the customer's goal and you put a business value to it, it changes how you can work with the customer. If they're on the wrong path with you, you can turn things around. You can get more investment, you can get more resources,
Mm-hmm.
and you can basically get the right people engaged again. But if you
Yes.
forget about the goal, you're just talking about a product, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't see the value of it, and they don't see what they should use it, then you will never you never change things. So it's a big thing, this. I'm happy to talk more, of course, offline with anyone who's interested to learn more about how you can work with goal discovery, how you can actually set the process around this. We also have a model on how to work with this.
Great. Yeah, I'll maybe go to wrapping up and takeaways also for all of us here in the call,
Yes.
and then and leave it up to questions. Johan.
Yes. So I think we said it, but I want to iterate this, that poor adoption is churn in disguise. You have to remember that. So you need to pay attention on adoption, and adoption is not, it's a constant evolving customer, basically. So you need to work with this. It's not a one-off, basically.
Yeah, I agree. And also like what you mentioned, like customers always have goals.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes they have a few, but might might not have discovered goals they should also be having, depending on
Exactly.
the actual end user base.
Yes,
And
and I
that's
think we
something.
can help them
Mhm.
clarify their goals. Sometimes they don't actually know their own goals, and they haven't really formalized it, or they haven't really said it out loud. But if we help them talk about their goals and why they're using our platform,
Yeah.
how our platform is in a service or to achieve that goal, yeah, things change, and I think this is really important.
I
And the
fully
last
agree.
point, yeah, and the last point, just to wrap up the takeaways. So if we know the goals, then we can also start linking the adoption of our platform to that goal. So are they basically are they having are they using our platform in a meaningful way to achieve their goals? That's also game changer in terms of measuring things.
Indeed. No, thanks for sharing these, Johan. I also took from my end a couple of concrete examples on the product side, on the customer success side, on where we see an increase in adoption through those different levers. We aim to keep it short. We kept it at 20 minutes eventually, so thanks for that, Johan. If you guys have questions offline, I mean, of course, reach out to Johan, to myself, Thomas, very simple, Thomas@luzmo.com. But do we have questions already here in the chat? Have we seen questions coming up as well?
Let's see, here we have some in the chat, right?
Yeah, there's a good suggestion from Jonathan. You've been involved apparently also in QBRs, is to ask about what are the big ambitious goals and things you need to deliver this year, and make it a repetitive exercise on a quarterly basis. Are those still the same, or are there eventually new ones coming in? And then indeed make sure that you also pick up on those new ones, because those new ones will also be, I mean, remain important, and those might change over time. So it's really important to keep a pulse of those changes, because those might kind of differ for the initial reasons why they signed up with your platform, with your technology.
Perfect.
Another way to put it is also we should test. What will you be fired for if you don't deliver? And what would make you a superstar within your organization if you were delivering it? So that's also a bolder way to asking
Yes,
a similar question, right?
right, definitely. Another one we like to say is that, like, if your customer were to churn, they should not be blaming you. Sometimes we can't control everything, right, from a customer success point of view, but if they would to churn, they cannot blame you, because you've done everything. You've been there, you've been pushing them, you have been asking them to understand their goals and so on. So if they churn, they should be only on themselves, right? They should understand that. So then we have done a quite good job as a customer success team, and they might come back as well.
Exactly. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, another question for the answer that we ask: what are some of the biggest challenges you guys are facing today in product adoption, or indeed time to first value? Feel free to share. Um, Otherwise, we keep it indeed at the CRISPR session today,
Yeah.
to have that. But I see Jonathan is very active, but that's good to see, obviously. And also Dave is typing, so happy. Maybe
Yes.
give that a few seconds, and then we can keep it a bit on for a longer time.
Yeah, no, I think if I take the biggest challenge in driving product adoption, I think a key thing is what we see a lot. We work, of course, with a lot of onboardings, and we work with SaaS businesses that are basically working with onboardings. And I think time to first value is very, very important. But what is value, right? And I think too many have too ambitious onboardings where they basically lose a lot of the momentum. So we usually try to help our customers to basically first of all define what is value, and then shorten it and try to keep the engagement going in the onboarding. I think that's very important for adoption, and break it down in smaller pieces basically. Because I think that's one of the common mistakes, that we are too ambitious. We want to do everything in the onboarding, and then we kind of kill the momentum of the onboarding, and we kill the engagement, and then we sit there with poor adoption 6 months down the road. So rather like shorten it and try to get something off the ground very fast, like within a week or two or whatever, depending, of course, a little bit of your platform.
I like Dave's comment as well. Actually understanding what the actual barriers are. Once you have a clear idea of those barriers, that you then can, like you say, Johan, define a solution or a remedy for those barriers. And if you split those in those bits and pieces, smaller bits that are hopefully more digestible, that's a way to tackle this. But I do agree. We see common barriers to, let's say, implementing and using our products, and also, let's say, drive adoption. But sometimes indeed those barriers, there's a whole set of barriers, with making sure that you understand those barriers at the customer side better and more concretely. So it's a very good point, Dave. What is the platform you're working for, Dave? Can you share? Let me check in. What is your platform doing exactly? If you're still on the call, obviously. Yeah? Let me see. I guess you must be. Natural aptitude. Thanks for joining, by the way. Good questions, good topics. Citizen science apps. Coreo, okay. Cool. Data collection SaaS platform. Good stuff. I'll have a look after the call.
Yes.
But for now, if there are no further questions, there's maybe a question in the other tab. Yes, from Juan. Thanks for joining. How to track your objectives when you have multiple clients? More than 10,000. Is that correct, Juan? You have more than 10,000 customers?
No, I think that's a really common question we get. Of course, if you're working very closely in a relationship with your customer, and you're more of a key account type of setup, or a very, very in-person relationship, basically, then you have meetings, and you kind of do goal discovery that way. But when you're working more in a product-led, or in a big volume type of customer base, then of course you need to automate that. But I would say it's even more important to understand the goals of the customers in that way, because otherwise it's going to be very hard for you to have the right messaging, right? Because that's going to be your way of interacting with the customer. It's going to be through different type of messaging, if it's in app, if it's email, or whatever it is. But you can do that by surveying the customer when they sign up. You can basically try to basically track what type of goal, what are they trying to achieve. It can be different stages. So maybe in the first couple of days using the platform, you ask some questions, and then you can have some questions later on as they have adopted more things in your platform as well. So I think it's about collecting the data, but it's also about understanding what different scenarios do we have, what type of goals can they be looking to achieve. Like in my previous job, I was working with a CRM product, and some of our customers, they wanted to drive outbound sales using this platform. Some customers wanted to do inbound sales model, basically, and those are completely different in how you want to work with the platform. So we want to understand, is their goal to increase the inbound leads, or is it their goal to increase the number of outbound appointments? Because that's going to make a very big difference in how they set up the CRM, right? So you can collect a lot of data. Even if you have 10,000 or 100,000 customers, you still need to understand what they're trying to achieve and what their goals are, because that's going to help you set up a good customer journey, and help you set up a good messaging around that.
Agree. Is that a answer to your question, Juan? I guess that's a yes. Yes, Johan.
That was a long answer.
Long answer.
Lost him. We maybe lost him there.
Yeah, he's still there. So that's
okay.
good. He says yes. Okay, but haven't seen any further questions coming in, and we're nearing our first 30 minutes. Let's keep it indeed within that time spot. We'll be sharing the recording, guys, after this session. If you want to spread it with colleagues or share with other people you know who might be interested. And as mentioned before, Johan, sorry, where can we get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you after this webinar?
So I'm on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out through LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'm also you will get in my email, but feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, and happy to talk more offline, basically. Thanks,
I see
Jonathan.
Jonathan is sharing on LinkedIn. Same for me. You can find me on LinkedIn, but also my email, thomas@luzmo.com. Happy to engage or answer any further questions from my experience. And with that, thanks everybody for joining. Johan, thanks for your time. Thanks for
Thank
sharing
you.
your experience, and see you next
Awesome.
time.
See you.